Hey everyone, I'm the 13th Wolfman. You know what? Today is day 23 of the 31 days of Halloween. That's right, and for day 23, I picked out a really good 80s classic directed by a really great 80s director. And that is John Carpenter's Christine. Written by Stephen King, directed by John Carpenter, starring Keith Gordon, John Stockton, Alexandra Paul, Kelly Preston, this and a 1958 Plymouth Fury named Christine. This movie here is one of the great ones that comes out of the 80s. I actually remember seeing this at a theater called, there was a theater a few towns over from where I grew up called Lewis and Clark, and it's not there anymore, but I do remember seeing this at the Lewis and Clark Theater when it came out in '83. I remember just falling in love with this movie, everything about it. I actually remember reading the book, and the book itself is a good book, but it's over detailed. There's a lot that's in the book that isn't in the movie. I actually thought the movie was a little bit better than the book. Don't get me wrong. Stephen King did a good job writing the book, but like I said, it's really over detailed. There's a lot of stuff in there that you're just not sure. It's like, I thought it was kind of a mess. And I read back then. I read like everything Stephen King. So. But the movie, they whittled it down to a story that was comprehensive and included a really, really good soundtrack. This is definitely a soundtrack worth getting. The music itself, 95% of it is 50s classics. Because the car was born in 1958. You got two songs from the 70s, Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones, and Tanya Tucker's take on a 1950s classic, Not Fade Away. But the soundtrack itself is really, really good. So, what the movie is about is Arnie Cunningham, played by Keith Gordon, is hanging out with John Stockton one day, and they're driving home, and they pass this lot. And there's this beat-up 1958 Plymouth Fury, and Keith Gordon, who is having probably one of the worst days he could ever have, wants to stop and look at it. And this thing is a piece. There's axe marks, and there's like a giant cut in the rear quarter panel that looks like it could have been put there by an axe. The fenders are all dented up. The chrome is missing. This is the kind of car that looks like it should go into a demolition derby, because to fix it up looks like it would just be the biggest pain ever. But not Keith Gordon. Keith Gordon falls in love with it and says, "I want to buy it." So he pays $250. Yeah, $250, and takes it home. His parents don't like it, so he takes it to Darnell's garage, where he fixes it up, and it looks beautiful. But Christine, the car, is what do you say, possessed? Now here's the question: is Christine possessed by the ghost of the former owner who bought it brand new in 1958, or is Christine possessed by her own spirit? It's something I've always wondered. In 1958 she causes problems on the line, but that could just be unfortunate. I love this movie. I can talk about it all day. I think it's one of those great films of the 80s, and it's a pleasure to have it for the 23rd day, for the 31 days of Halloween. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I mean, what are you doing? You know, you're missing out on a good movie. With that, I'm the 13th Wolfman, and of course, I'm on the prowl.